All right, guys, welcome back to part 3 of the Building a Strong Medical School application series. We are just rolling with the content, and I'm very, very happy. Just make sure you guys keep subscribing, sharing the videos to those who you think might benefit from this, and yeah, let's get into medical school, right? So this time, we're going to talk about choosing meaningful extracurricular activities. So at this point, from our first video, we know grades and GPA are important, right? Our second video, we know the importance of crafting a compelling personal statement. And now we're talking about your extracurricular activities. One of the most common questions I get is, "Hey, Dr. Femi, extracurricular? Oh, tough word. Hey, Dr. Femi, what extracurricular activities should I do to get into medical school? Which activities will benefit me the most?" And you know what my answer is every single time? I said, it really doesn't matter. I'm like, whoa, awkward. It doesn't matter. No, it really, really, really doesn't matter, right? The point of the extracurricular activities is really to, give us something to talk about during your interview process. Whenever I interview and I see an application, I quickly, I look at the personal statement. Of course, that's like the most important part. But I also go through the extracurricular activities, and I want to, figure out what I can talk about during your interview. What makes this person maybe interesting? And that's why I say it really doesn't matter what you choose. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're giving me something to talk to you about. I can't really tell too much from what extracurricular activities. I'm gonna get the word by the end of the video. I can't really tell too much based off of the extracurricular activities that you put down on your resume, but what I can do is pique my interest, right? If you write something like, fishing, right? Or, I don't know, baseball. I don't watch baseball, but I'm trying to think of something now. Painting as an extracurricular activity. You were on the rowing team, or you were on. I'm trying to think of like non-basic medical school answers, right? Let's say you were part of the Yu-Gi-Oh club, right? You're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. You might be pickleball. Pickleball's a good one. Say you're doing these extracurricular activities. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've heard of those. I don't really know what that means, but whatever. Why not? Let's do it. Oh, pinball team. Pinball team, like back in the 80s, 70s, whatever year it was. Pinball team. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about it. In an interview, I'm gonna say, let's talk about pinball. But the point is, the reason why I really say it doesn't matter is because the point of these extracurricular activities is, one, to give us something to talk about, but two, to figure out what you learned and what you gained from these extracurricular activities. And that's why I say it doesn't matter. Whichever extracurricular activity you choose, the only requirement I'm going to have for you is find a way to relate it to why it will make you a better physician. And that's it. That's all you need to do. For instance, if you are, say you love Pokemon. I love Pokemon. Did I write about Pokemon on my extracurricular activities? No, I did not, but I could have. And honestly, now that I know what I know, I would have wrote that down, right? You can talk about a Pokemon Go player. You walk around different areas and you catch Pokemon with your friends or random people you meet on the street. And I actually, in your interview, I saw in your extracurricular activities that you led the district in, Pokemon catching abilities on this Pokemon Go. What does Pokemon Go mean? What does it mean to you, and why did you put this on your application, right? Your job is to find a way to make Pokemon Go relatable to medicine and how it can apply to your career and make you a better physician, right? Think about it this way. In Pokemon Go, your job is to go around. It's an app. It's a game on an app. You go around walking in parks and streets. Oh, wow, I see a Pokemon. You put the Pokemon here, and you make believe try to catch the Pokemon, all that. The point is, with these Pokemon Go's, there's these centers, meaning like public areas, where you'll see other people who are playing Pokemon Go. You can meet up with random people based off the Pokemon Go. It's like a GPS tracker. You're just walking around. And if I see like a rare Pokemon here at the library, I'm going to walk to the library and I look up. I'm seeing a bunch of people standing around with phones in their hands because they all went to the library on the GPS map to catch this Pokemon. Now I'm talking to them. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, we should work together and let's fight this gym or battle this gym or let's catch this Pokemon together as a team. You are networking, right? What you just told me is that because of Pokemon Go, you were able to practice your social skills, meeting random people, working as a team, understanding that you all have differences and you might not even know each other's name up until the 5 minutes when you guys met up to catch this Pokemon, but you're able to work together effectively and to understand that despite your differences, you can be a part of a bigger thing, which is to catch the Pokemon or to battle the other Pokemon or whatever, and have fun while doing so. Tell me how that does not relate to you being a good physician. As a physician, you might work with thousands of different staff members, from nurses to physical therapy, social work, to case managers, to the janitor, to medical students, to residents, to even coders and billers that you really do not know. Respiratory therapist is going to be in there as well, right? The PSAs, the PSMs, the even family members. You don't know who you're going to work with, but the point is you have to work with them in order to get the job done. You're going to fight, you're going to deal with people of different races, different cultures. Some might not even speak they might even not even have the same first language as you, right? Come from all over different places of the world, but you're still expected to work together. So why would you put Pokemon Go down on your extracurriculars? Pokemon Go taught me that no matter where I'm going, as long as we have a common goal, it doesn't matter who I'm with or what people I'm surrounded by, I'm going to work together to do my best to achieve that common goal. And that's what you learned through Pokemon Go. See, it's a little weird at first when you hear it, right? But you can really kind of sell it however you want. Me, I was basic and I wrote basketball. I played on this basketball team. I was like, why are you talking about basketball in your interview? Being a basketball player allowed me to be a leader. It allowed me to work with different people and realize that even if I have good intentions to run a certain play and score the basketball, it doesn't matter because it's not always up to me. I have to trust that my teammates are doing the exact same thing, and by all of us doing the same exact thing, we can accomplish a goal. And if someone stares away from the goal, it's up to the rest of the team members to get us back on track. I think I talked earlier in another video about cooking, right? Why is cooking a good extracurricular? Guess what? Cooking gives you a recipe every single time. With cooking, you have the same recipe, you follow the recipe, and ideally you should get the finished product, right? Medicine, if someone comes in with a COPD exacerbation, that's COPD for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, right? It's a standard treatment, standard diagnosis. We get the imaging, we get the labs, and we give the medications. It should be bread and butter, but guess what? It's not always that way. Some people present differently. With cooking, as long as you follow the recipe, it should be bread and butter, right? But depending on the pots you use, the measuring modalities, the stove that you have, so many different things can alter the taste or alter the end result. So you have to learn how to think on the spot. You have to learn how to adjust. If you realize this is asking for 1 cup of sugar, but you only have, 3/4 cups, and so you have to edge it a little bit. You see what I'm saying? You have to kind of use 3/4 and then try to estimate, the extra 1/4. That's perfectly fine. Say someone says they need whole milk and you don't have whole milk, but you said you have this type of milk or this type of milk, etc. They said they need 2 eggs, but you don't have 2 eggs. You only have 1 egg. You have to substitute with something else. Different things, baking powder, baking soda. The point is, as a cook, as a chef, you are flexible. You get the recipe at hand and you can make the recipe, but even if you do all these things, if the stove heats up a little bit differently, you're gonna make a different result, right? Just because it needs a stick of butter, but you only have 3/4 of a stick of butter, doesn't mean it's always gonna taste the same. And what if someone uses a different brand of butter or uses a different type of butter in general? It's always gonna be different. Same way every patient you have is gonna be different. I've dealt with probably hundreds of COPD patients at this point in time, and guess what? Honestly, every time COPD, I start off with the basic management, but I always find myself, sometimes it's completely basic and nothing changes, which we'll take our wins how we can take it. But the point is, sometimes it's different. And the treatment that I used on the last COPD exacerbation patient, today, 3 hours later, I get another one and I'm doing something different. I'm changing, I'm constantly flowing with it. I'm not going to just give up because I don't have all the ingredients or I don't have all the typical signs of COPD exacerbation. So the point I'm trying to make is, and I don't mean to make this long-winded or nothing, but the point is you have to really sell these extracurricular activities into how it turns you into a better physician. And I would always say put multiple down. I always think before you apply to medical school, think of 3 or 4, at least 3 or 4, I would say, at least interesting extracurriculars that you can talk about and you can relate it to how it's going to make you a better physician, because that's what you need to know. Okay. And like I said again, don't focus on just academic. Don't be that basic medical student, or sorry, basic pre-med student who all the extracurriculars has to do with volunteering or shadowing or donating. Stop it. Obviously, have those things there, but when I look at 100 applicants in front of me and all 100 have the same shadowing, volunteering, donation, extracurriculars, right? I'm not going to be able to tell the difference. I'm sorry. But if I see someone that says something random like, oh, fishing, you know, you know, if I'm living in New York City and you're talking about fishing, I'm curious, you know, where are you going fishing at? You know, I mean, obviously there's places in New York to fish, but it's just not common in New York City that people are like, oh yeah, we go fishing all the time. Or you tell me you were on a roller skating squad and you used to roller skate, you know, at the senior citizens or whatever you do it at. You know, so you see what I'm saying? Like, say something so abstract that has to make me pause and be like, what are this person talking about? And why is this even important? I saw someone put that they have a sticker, like a sticker collection. A sticker collection as your extracurricular is wild to me, right? And they're like, they just love collecting. I was like, what are we in the 50s? This is like 50 years old activities, you know what I'm saying? But the way they learned the stickers, the meticulousness of finding each one, placing the placement, organizing them, that's something that they wanted to apply to being a physician. Being able to be meticulous, not necessarily with their patients and how they talk to them, but how they manage them to make sure they keep a tight leash on everything, as well as when they do their chart review, very meticulous to oriented details. This needs to be here, this needs to be here. That way, when they write their notes are concise. Their notes are equal. It's very, very well organized in order to help it better, easier for the next person to read and understand what the medical treatment plan is. So the point I'm trying to make, once again, just to wrap up this video, is your extracurriculars can literally be anything you want. It could be Pokemon, it can be baseball, it can be fishing, it can be collecting stickers. The key thing is you need to find a way to relate it to the medicine, and that's all we care about. And those I've noticed with the most random extracurricular activities are the ones we end up remembering. Because when I'm on lunch and they say, hey, have you read any good applicants? I was like, you know, I've read a lot of good ones, but oh, there's this one girl that collected stickers. Yeah, apparently she has like a whole album of stickers and blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm going to remember. And then I'm going to remember your from your personal statement, which you wrote in your personal statements. And then I can even go back as far as your grades. So the point is, it doesn't matter what extracurricular activities you choose. You just need to make sure you're able to relate it to what? Back to the medicine. All right, guys. I'm going to stop right there. Thanks again for watching this video. Once again, like I always say, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you have any comments, just write them down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And you can follow me on Femi Shabazz at all socials. I'll see you guys at part 4 of the next series.